What do we know about today's events?
Well, it's still a developing situation. The police raided the famous Camp Nou stadium this morning, and we've discovered it's the Financial Crimes Department involved in this investigation. We don't know how many people are in custody, but the reports are showing that Joseph Bartomeu, the former club president, is one of them. He was forced to resign last year in a storm of controversy, with the club mired in financial difficulties. They're over €1 billion in debt, and there's also turmoil on the pitch too, with a pair of humiliating results in the last year: the 8-2 collapse to Bayern Munich, the 4-1 defeat only recently, of course, as well, to Paris Saint-Germain. And this all comes in the week that Bartomeu's successor is due to be elected. We're in the final stages of the election campaign. And we've heard from one of the candidates today, Joan Laporte, a former president himself of Barcelona, who believes that what we're seeing today is a consequence of the bad management of the club. And so much of that perhaps relates to the handling of the biggest player of them all, Lionel Messi. He tried to leave in the summer. His transfer request was denied. And leaks recently have shown that he's paid up to €138 million a season. And that just really highlights perhaps why Barcelona is in such a financial mess, and also why we saw an alleged smear campaign against Messi and other players known as Barçagate, which seems to be at the heart of this investigation today.
And I'd like you to elaborate a little bit on that Barçagate. What is it all about? What is being alleged?
Well, the key part of it is the fact that social media influencers and accounts were being used to allegedly smear and spread disinformation, perhaps, about some of Barcelona's biggest names, like Lionel Messi and Gerard Piqué. Barcelona did conduct an investigation. They brought an external source in, and it didn't find there was no wrongdoing from the leadership of Barcelona, but there are still questions clearly to be answered about just what was going on in terms of trying to potentially spread misinformation and smear some of the biggest names in Barcelona's history, all at a time, of course, when they're trying to return to the summit of football. They won not a single trophy last season, really unprecedented at Barcelona. And this year, currently, they're 8 points behind Atletico Madrid at the top of La Liga and potentially facing elimination from the Champions League.
And one of the players reportedly targeted, as we mentioned, there's Lionel Messi. We know that he tried to leave last season as well. Does he still want out? Do we know?
Well, one of the things that, of course, Messi said when he wanted to leave was questioning the quality of the squad and perhaps an ageing team that was not in a position to compete. And it does seem he has been proven right in these last few months, with the fact they're struggling to challenge for the La Liga title, facing that exit from the Champions League unless they can mount another great comeback at PSG as they did a couple of years ago. And he is, of course, entering the final stages of his contract, and Barcelona needing to try to sort out that debt situation. Will they want to finally release him to relieve themselves of that big salary off the wage bill? And does Messi want perhaps another challenge, as he did talk about last summer? Certainly Barcelona have a big mess still to resolve regarding perhaps one of the greatest players of all time, and his irritation and frustration was clear when he wanted to leave last summer, and that was a really tense period when, of course, he was denied the ability to move. Not many clubs in world football could afford him. Perhaps, of course, one of them mooted is Manchester City with its vast group of clubs as well.
OK, we'll leave it there for now. Rob Harris, thank you.
Good to join you.